people having other things to do. I know some of you have paused whatever you are supposed to do and you have decided to join. So I will make sure 1 hour is 1 hour, 2 hours is 2 hours, 30 minutes is 30 minutes. So please, anytime we are having a meeting, also do your best to join on time so that we don't waste much time. Okay, so I'll start from my end. And I think everyone knows me. If in case you don't know me, just a brief. My name is Dr. Isaac Akomea-Frimpong, and I live in Australia. I work in a university called Essential University College. I also work for Western Sydney University College. I also work for Newcastle, University of Newcastle, and then also a university called Central Queensland University. Yeah. What I do basically is teaching and research, which actually is a fundamental work of every academic in these contemporary terms. In the olden days, I think academics were more of teaching, but of late, things are shifting. Of late, yeah, I can see most people going into more research and then they do a bit of teaching. Well, I know some people still do a lot of teaching, but things are changing a bit. So you see the workload planner or the workload of an academic, you see that the academic has, let's say, 60% research and maybe 40% teaching. But it could also be the other way around. Yeah, but in my case, I combine all, but now I can say I do more research based on the schools that I work with, and then I do a bit of teaching. Yeah, I don't teach much nowadays. And the good thing also is that, like, at the beginning of this year, which is almost like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've been promoted to a senior lecturership position, which I thank God. And also, normally, when you start teaching as an early career researcher, it takes you maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years before you get that. But I thank God that I've been able to achieve this within a year, which is remarkable. And I really thank God for that. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I do. Basically, that's my work. Currently, that's what I don't do at any other thing. I'm not into industry practice. If you see me doing anything for industry, can you see my face? Okay, if you can't see me, that's fine. I'll put on my videos soon. If you see me doing anything for industry, it's more of a collaborative something that I'm doing for industry. But currently, I don't work for industry, even though I have industry certificates. Like I have CIOB. I'm a member of PMP. That's PMI, Project Management Institute. I'm a member of the AIPM, Australian Institute of Project Management. I'm a member of ACCA. I'm a member of CPA. I have many industry certificates, but currently I'm not working with them. My job is to do research and also teach. So basically, that's what I do. And yeah, I'm from Ghana, as you all know. I'm from Ghana, and what is that thing again? I live in Australia. Yeah. So basically, that's all that I can say about myself. I'm going to give everyone the opportunity to briefly, some seconds. It could be some seconds, your name, what you do, brief, and then we move on from there. So, anyone, I'll call people for the sake of the nature of the people that we have here. I'm going to call you. So I'll start from Emmanuel. If you can briefly tell us who you are and then what you do, briefly, some seconds. And then we go. Emmanuel Abuji.
Bro, please come again.
Hey, what did I say? You didn't hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying give us a brief introduction of who you are.
Yes, so I'm Emmanuel Lausi,
Yeah.
then from KUST in Ghana. And I'm doing my master's in construction management. Then
Okay.
I've worked with you for a while. And then the experience is awesome. So I'm hoping that
Okay.
all of us here will get to understand whatever you're about to teach us so that it will help us in our future studies too as well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The next person is King Wilfred Arthur.
Yes, Doc. Like you have mentioned, my name is Ken Wilfred Arthur, and I'm with the Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies, University of Ghana. I'm studying a PhD in environmental science, and I'm currently with Ghana TVET Service as a vice principal for academics and skills training. So briefly, yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next person is Debbie, my own Debbie. Deborah Jemai.
Hello, my name is Deborah Ajimai, and currently I'm at KNUST doing Masters in Construction Management.
Okay, thank you. Mubarak Yusuf. Mubarak Yusuf. Mr. Mubarak Yusuf or Mubarak Yusuf. Your turn. You can talk. Or your Mubarak. Oh, he's not here. Yusuf. Okay, if Mubarak is not ready, let me move on to Seth. Is Seth here? Seth Usu.
I say I'm here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Seth Owusu from KNST Otto. I'm currently working as a construction projects supervisor,
Okay.
and I hope to get whatever I'm going to teach in this class. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis Ufuri Osei.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is
go
Dennis
ahead.
Okay. My name is Dennis Oforiosei, and I read BSc Development Planning and at KNUST, and I am now reading MPhil Planning. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Sharon. Sharon. My own Ima Sharon. Yeah.
So,
Sharon, yeah.
my name is Sharon Esiamajman, and I'm currently also doing my Masters in Construction Management.
Okay. Thank you. Sharon. Kofi Eliagbe. Eliagbe. Yeah, Kofi. Is Kofi online? Okay, Theophilus. Theo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Theo.
So my name, as just mentioned, is Theophilus Lamte, and I'm a PhD construction management candidate from KMUST. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kofi. I don't know why Mubarak and who again? Yeah, Mubarak. Mubarak, we have not heard from you. Please, can you say something?
Hello.
Hello, Mubarak.
Hello. Yeah. I'm reading Mubarak. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. I'm offering MSc in Project University. Hello.
Okay. Yes, go ahead. We can hear from you.
Yeah, as I'm offering MSc in project management, UST.
Okay. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, so you are all welcome. I think everybody has spoken so far. Is there anyone here who hasn't spoken? Okay, I think everybody has spoken. Kofi said, Sharon too. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for the class. We'll go straight to the point so that we don't waste too much time. So the first thing I want everybody to note down, put down, is that I want everybody to come up with a topic. And the topic, I want you to come up with a topic which, if you are already into your PhD or your master's or something, a topic that you are interested in, which you can develop further, and it's connected to your work, your current work. So come up with a topic. So that's the first, and everybody should put it down. So when we meet next time, please, when we come, I expect you to give me your topic. Another way by which you can give me your topic is that within the 2 weeks I'm going to give to you, you can also send me your topic and have a discussion with me that this is the kind of work, this is the kind of paper that you want to write. This is my topic. What do you think, Doc? Then we discuss it and we approve it. So that's the first step. The first in place. Everyone, I'm pleading with you. Make sure your topic is ready. Okay. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Once you have your topic ready, then I'll take you from there. But today I'm just going to take you through the structural equation modeling. Just a brief introduction of what it is, and then we'll continue. It's something that I'm going to use a maximum of about 3 or 4 meetings to take you through. But whilst we are going through, I want to recommend to you that there are videos on this which I've already put together. So I will show you some of the videos, and then on your, when you are free or when you are less busy, you can visit the videos and watch them. Okay. Okay. So structural equation modeling. What it is? What is structural equation modeling? And I guess some of you or many of you have heard this thing before. You have heard, you have seen, you have read articles where they use structural equation modeling. What is structural equation modeling? So structural equation modeling is a multivariate statistical analysis that is used to analyze structural relationships. It is a combination of factor analysis, regression analysis, and path analysis. So with respect to structural equation modeling, we assume that things or events or factors that occur, there are underlying factors that influence them. For example, if somebody is poor, there are so many things that influence a person to be poor. And even the things that influence the person to be poor, there are also things that influence those factors. So can we mention some of the reasons why maybe some countries or some people are not rich or they are not poor? One, maybe somebody will say the person is not hardworking. I'm just saying. And then another person will say, oh, because the person has not been able to secure a good job. Or somebody will also say that it's a mismanagement of funds. That's why the person is poor. But these factors I've just mentioned, these 2 or 3 factors I've mentioned, there are also things that influence that. So because for example, if you take hard work, if you say somebody is not hardworking, there are reasons why somebody is not hardworking. There are factors or there are some things that explain that or that contribute to that. Okay, so if you want to analyze the relationships between these underlying factors and then the main issues that you identified, then it is good you go for structural equation modeling. Because the normal regression, path analysis, and factor analysis, they tend to only explain the key the 2 or 3 factors I mentioned. And then the things that explain them, sometimes they tend to ignore them. But with the structural equation modeling, you'll be able to explain the factors on the surface and then the factors under, the one at the top or the one up there and then the ones beneath it. So that's structural equation modeling. In other words, the good thing about structural equation modeling is that you'll be able to explain so many factors and variables at the same time. Unlike how we see it in factor analysis or regression, where we tend to maybe look at the relationship between 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 variables, which we normally call them. In regression, we call them independent and dependent variables. But with the structural equation modeling, we even go beyond that. We go beyond the dependent and we go beyond the independent variables. Okay, so to me, if I'm going to recommend anyone who is trying to look at the interrelationships between various factors or various reasons that contribute to somebody being poor, I would recommend the person to use structural equation modeling instead of doing factor analysis or regression or path analysis. Another good reason or another good thing about the structural equation modeling is that it's a multivariate statistical analysis, which is, in other words, the data analysis that combines 3 or more additional data analysis tools. So whilst you are conducting a structural equation modeling, at the same time you are conducting factor analysis, at the same time you are conducting regression, at the same time you are conducting path analysis, at the same time you are conducting other analysis. So that makes it good, or that makes it superior, that makes it better than just conducting only one analysis. Yeah, it's like, as we always say, like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, or in this case, you are killing 3 or 4 or more birds with 1 stone. So the structural equation modeling is 1 stone, which is going to kill about 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 birds at the same time. So whilst you are conducting a structural equation modeling, you are actually conducting more than 2, more than 1, more than 3 data analysis at the same time. Okay, so now let's go into the structural equation modeling. Let me lay down some things. So I'm just giving you the foundation. So please, if you have any question, you have to ask me, because this thing that we are studying, or we are going through, is the same thing that we are going to apply to our data analysis once we collect the data and then we start analyzing them. In structural equation modeling, there are 2 key variables that we look at. As I mentioned to you, if you want to know why somebody is poor, 1, there are the factors on the surface and the ones explaining them. The one at the top and the ones explaining them. So we group the variables in structural equation modeling into 2. We normally call them the latent variables, and then we have the measured variables. Latent variables. Another name for the latent variables is the unobserved. So if you remember, when I was giving you reasons why people are poor, I mentioned 3 key factors. Those 3 key factors that explain why people are poor can be considered as the latent variables. And then the things that explain each of them, like if you take hard work, if you have about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 10 reasons why people don't work hard or explains hard work, that become what we call the observed or the measured variables. Okay, so another thing too is that in structural equation modeling, you also see this word a lot. You see the word construct. So we have the measured construct and latent construct. Actually, it's the same. The word construct is the same as variables. Another word that you also see a lot is indicators. indicators. The indicators in this context refer to the measured variables, which I will show you very soon. And then another word that you see is manifest variables or manifest items. It's the same. Another word that you see is measurement items. They are all the same. So let me repeat them again. So from here, this part, in most, this one, they are all saying the same thing. Let me highlight this. All these things are the same. So when you are reading any structural equation model, you see these words a lot. Please take note. They mean the same thing. Okay. The measured items or the measured variables, they are the things that are explaining the latent variables. So for example, let's take hard work. Now let's give reasons why people are not hardworking. Let's give some reasons why. What are some of the reasons why people are not hardworking? People are not hardworking because you can explain it from how they were raised, like from their family background. You know, some people who were raised in families that they were not, their families or their parents didn't instill in them hard work. This principle or the tenets or the ethics, this ethical principles or this kind of principle of hard work. Some people were raised like that. They are not really hardworking. It's part of them. It's part of their DNA. And then what again can explain why people are not hardworking? It could be from their friends, the kind of friends that they have. If you have some friends who are not hardworking, you are likely to learn something from them, or you are likely to be like them. As we always say, birds of the same feathers, they all go everywhere together. You know, so it could be, you can explain it from that. Actually, there is a theory which explains this. Maybe later on you can go and read it. This is called, let me try and give it to you. That theory is called, which was given by Unger 2021. And Unger's 2021 theory talks about the social, ecological, and like why people do what they do. So please, when we are done, you can go and read about it. Like why people, because socio-ecological resilience model or socio-ecological model. In this model, it gives you a broader perspective of why people do what they do. Okay, if somebody is a drunkard, or if somebody drink, there are so many reasons why the person drink. It's not just because the person wants to drink. If somebody is I'm sorry to say, let's say if somebody is an armed robber or a thief, there are reasons that influence the person to become a thief. You know, so it's the same thing which applies to this thing I'm trying to explain to you, that each of the factors, if you take hard work, there are a number of things that contribute to somebody not being hardworking. The same thing applies to if somebody mismanage their funds. There are reasons why people mismanage their funds. Okay, so another thing I want to tell you is that in structural equation modeling, we are going to deal with a lot of theories. So I want you to put it in your mind. And the theories, don't get scared. Hey, the theories are going to be like, hey, what theories are nothing. They are just things that's explaining. They are not anything. So don't be bothered. Yeah, they are just normal thing. Let me come back to this. So the measured variables, another name that you see when you are reading any structural equation modeling is indicator variables. You also see the word observed variables. You also see manifest variables. You also see measurement items. They are all the same. These things explain the latent variable. So like if you take hard work, the hard work will be the latent variable. And anything that explains why people are not hardworking will become measured items or measured variables or measurement items. Okay, so I've given you the first one. The second variable that you deal with, which I've already mentioned, is called latent variables. Another name for latent variables is latent construct. What does this mean? This is something that is more of like, under one circumstance, if you are dealing with regression, these are called dependent and independent variables. They are the factors on the surface. The factors on the surface, the main dependent and independent variables. There are other names for them, for these latent construct or variable. They are also called the hidden variables. They are also called unobserved variable. They are also called a hypothetical construct. They are normally simply called constructs. So if you see constructs, they say, if you also see underlying variables, they are all the same. So please take note of these two things whilst we go on this journey. And if you have any question for me, please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay, so now let me come. I want to repeat these variables I explained to you once again. So in structural equation modeling, we deal with two main variables. I think somebody may ask me, so Doug, what is actually variables? Variables are not anything which is like magical or anything of that sort. Variables can also be called factors. Yeah, I think many of you are familiar with the word factors. Factors are variables. So when you see the word variables, they are not anything. Also called construct. Okay, now let's explain the latent variables again. Latent variables are theoretical, cannot be observed, measured directly. So for example, as I told you, if you are looking at why people are poor, you can say that one, they are not hardworking and they mismanage their funds. And then the third one is that they have not been able to secure a good job. These are the three reasons that maybe you want to give to why people are poor. So these three things become what we call your latent constructs. These are more of like theoretical stuff. These are things that like people over the years have come to agree that they cause, but does it really cause that? Does these, I mean, these three things that I just mentioned, do they really cause people to be poor? So you go ahead and investigate. Okay, so the researcher must operationally define the latent variable of interest in terms of behavior believed to represent such as, okay, so this is just something I took from Brian 2013, giving explanation to latent variables. Good, now let's go to the observe indicator or the measurement items. So now that you know, or now that we know why people are poor, we have three reasons. We can break the three reasons down further by getting to know what explains each of the three reasons. So if you take hard work, you can come up with about 3 or 4 or 5 explanations as to why people are not hardworking and therefore they are poor. Those things, those reasons, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 reasons become what we call the observed indicators. This is a variable that can be directly measured or observed in a study or experiment. Okay, yeah. Now let me give you a practical overview so that the thing become easier, because what it seems what I've been saying, they are more abstract, theoretical. So this is a simple overview of what I have just explained, a simple overview. And when I say a simple overview, the circle is what we call the latent variable, the circle, the latent variable, or the latent construct. And then the thing explaining, you see the small boxes, the 1, 2, 3, 4, they become what we call the observed indicators. Observed indicators. But even with the observed indicators or the measurement items or the manifest variables, we have 2 types. We have ones which are reflective, and then we have ones which are formative. So if you take something like hard work, I'm just going to be on hard work as to why people are poor. If you come up with 4 reasons why people are not hardworking, there are 2 things that are likely to happen. It's possible that these 4 things that you give to why people are not hardworking, it's either they are reflecting why people are not hardworking, or they lead to why people are not working. When they are reflecting or they are showing why people are not working, they are called the reflective measurement items. Is there somebody who is trying to join? Okay. When they are, is there somebody who is trying to join? Sorry. Okay, let me keep on going. When they are,
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wasn't seeing the display of the diagram. That's why I read.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Can you see them?
But yeah, now you can see.
Okay, thank you. So when they are reflecting or showing why people are not hardworking, then they become reflective. But if they lead to why people are not hardworking, they become formative. I think when we start doing some analysis, I think the listing will come out better. Yeah, but at this point, let's look at it. So let's look at some examples. Okay, I've given an example here between the two, the reflective measurement items and then the formative. So a practical example of a formative indicator is using factors like income, education level, and occupation prestige to measure the construct of socioeconomic status. So if you use that someone's education, someone's income, and someone's occupation, they lead to somebody having a certain kind of social prestige, like a situation where the person is respected in the society. In other words, like if right now you have a lot of money, let's say Emmanuel, if you have $1 million and Sharon is having $5 million and Tew has $5 million, and I think people will start and people get to know us, people will start having some kind of respect for you, kind of. Now let's take education. Those of you who have either completed your PhD or your master's, or you are doing your master's, there is some kind of social prestige or like some social status that you have achieved. Because people now tend to, like, I would say, kind of, I'll use the word respect you, because that is why, for example, in our part of the world, if somebody who the position of a doctor, you don't dare joke with the person. If you call the person by his first name, the person will either punish you, or you'll be in big trouble. But in our part of the world where I am, it's not a big deal. Nobody cares about your doctor and your professor and your emeritus and whatever. But in our part of the world, it's a big thing. Once you have your master's, your PhD, and then your lecturing position, people are supposed to accord you with that social status. So we will call that what? Formative, because those things lead to. If you don't have them, if you don't have a PhD, I'm just an example, or if you have not attained a certain level of education, people will not give you some form of respect. If you don't have a certain job, so people will not give you respect. I think we all know this. This is self-explanatory. It's something that we observe every day. So for such indicators, they are called what? Formative, because those things will lead to you attaining that status. Without those things, I'm sorry, nobody will give you that kind of recognition. If you don't have money, for example, in our society, if you don't have money, people will not respect you much. It's a fact. Yeah, if you don't have money, but immediately you get money, the whole thing will change, and everybody will start saluting you and respecting you and loving you, and you get all the yeah. So for that, it is called what? Formative. Now we come to the reflective. The reflective, an example could be using customer satisfaction survey questions to measure overall customer. So this one, It's like somebody has come to enjoy a service from you. Now you give out something like a survey, or you make the person rate how the person felt when he or she enjoyed the service. So out of this, so this one is like out of whatever has happened that people are expressing their satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the thing that you have done with them or to them. So for example, when people go to restaurants and they are done with the food, they can say, oh, I really enjoyed the food. Or some people will say, oh, I didn't enjoy the food. Or some people will say all sort of things. So for that one, they are reflecting. It's out of that event. This one is not coming from that. It's out from that event. They are expressing their happiness or their sadness about that. And a typical example is customer experience, and that one is true. Like you go to the MTN office and then you'll be in a queue for 5 hours, 2 hours. You come back and you are so angry, and you want to even switch your internet provider or your this thing, your provider in terms of mobile services. And then you go to another office and then they treat you so well and you are so happy. You want to be with them forever, So the thing comes out of the event. Those things don't lead to something forming, but it's out of that event that things are reflecting. Another thing that you can also give is based on where you have lived. Certain character traits and behaviors come out. Even within Ghana, depending on the city that you lived in when you were growing up, you show certain traits, behavior patterns. Yeah. You start showing certain or even where you were born, like the kind of family that you have been part of. Some people tend to be more respectful. Some people tend to be disrespectful. Some people tend to be money hungry. Some people tend to be humanistic or humanist or whatever they call it. Some people tend to be more supporting. Some people tend to be more greedy. Some people tend to be all sort of behaviors. It's out of where we lived, where we grew up, how we were raised, the school that we went to, the kind of friends that we have. It's out of these things that we reflect certain things. So for that, they are called what? Reflective indicators. And as I've given you an example, customer experience is a typical example of that. Out of the service that you are rendered, you now express your happiness or displeasure with the service. I hope it's clear, and please, everything that we are doing here, always use practical examples. It makes it easier for you to understand it. Don't take whatever we are going to do here too theoretical and practical, too academic and too theoretical. If you do it that way, I find it difficult to understand some things going forward. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. We have about 10 minutes to go. As I said, I'm going to make sure we keep to the time, and we'll continue another time that we can. Okay, the next thing is that I'm going to show you some of the basic. Anytime you are drawing, this one is when you are trying to draw, but the good thing is that we have software or softwares that can help you to generate this. But when you see this in the software, which I know many of us, we have seen some of these symbols a lot in some of the articles that we have read, we need to understand what they represent in the structural equation modeling analysis. Now let's take the circle. So anytime, or in most cases, when you see a circle in structural equation modeling, the circle represents the latent variable. So once again, if you are confused about latent variable, go back. I mentioned that the latent variable tend to be the surface, the one on the surface, that variable on the far surface, the theoretical variable, the one that cannot be observed. So this is the one, the latent variable. So normally they are represented with a circle, okay, in most structural equation model. You see this when you see the circle, it represents the latent construct of variable. And then the square, the small square, 1, 2, the square with the x1, x2, x3, they represent what we call the indicator variable, which is also called the measurement item, which is also called the manifest variable, which is also called the observed variables. So that's the square. Now you always also see some arrows. Okay, so when you see, okay, so far most of the structural equation modeling, the arrows are direct. I know nowadays some people are coming up with what we call the curvilinear structural equation modeling, but it has not been developed yet. It doesn't mean they don't exist, they do. But most of the structural equation modeling that you're going to see and the papers that you're going to read, you see that most of their arrows, they are direct. And when I say direct, straight lines, as you can see. If it's curvilinear, you see that the thing will be like this, or a curve or polynomial kind of thing. But this is curvilinear, this is direct. So the A, B, C, they are the arrows, and they represent the direct relationship or relationships between the latent variables and then the indicator variables, which is the circle and then the squares. And so it depends on where it's going. If it is formative, as we saw from here, if it is formative, you see that the arrows are pointing to the latent variable. But if it's reflective, then the arrows will be coming out of the construct. So take note. Now we have the next one called the covariance. So in case you see any structural equation, well, then you see that the arrows have two pointed dots at the end. Then it represents covariance or correlation. So one thing is that, like, I mean, I don't want anybody to get scared in case you are not that extremely good in mathematics. I mean, we are all going to learn. And it's also not that difficult, you know. So some of these things, we even encourage you to just Google them in case you don't know what they represent. What is covariance? What is correlation? We'll go into them. So yeah, so that you get them. But at the end of the day, they are not difficult. And more importantly, the structural equation modeling software that we have now, they give us the opportunity to work on them in such a way that when we get the results, it has a way of interpreting the results for us. So you're not going to get confused. The next thing is the measurement error. The measurement error is what we call the random error, which we call that one random error. Or we call them the standard error, depending on how you want to call that. And that one too, we'll discuss it or I'll explain it to you. But in most of the recent structural equation modeling software, you don't see the measurement error. This measurement error, which represent the E1, E2, and E3, you see them a lot in the AMOS, the SPSS package for structural equation modeling. That's where the recent ones like the Smart PLS and the other ones, you won't see the errors showing. Okay, good. Yeah, quickly, let me take you through this and then probably I'll show you one or two things, then we go. I'll end here. Like I'll end with you at the software, then we go. So let's go through this. So some other key terms. So the word independent variable, which we already know. So in structural equation modeling, you also see that the term endogenous variable, it means dependent variable. So when I was explaining to you, I mentioned why people are poor. So the state at which people are poor, if you are going to do the analysis, will be the dependent variable. And other things that explain them, that explains it. That explain the poverty will become the independent variable. Just like how we do it in regression. If any of you are good in, if you have done regression before, the same dependent and independent variable. And then we have the indicator with the measurement item. We have the path, that's the arrow linking the construct and then the indicators. Then we have the path diagram. So, I mean, to simplify this, or to simplify all that I've done with you, this is how a typical or normal, this is how a normal structural equation model looks like. And this is what you see in many articles. So you always see the circles. Can you see the circles? So the circles are the latent variable, the circles. The thing that look like egg, the circle, they are called the latent variables, or simply called the construct. Okay. And then the arrows linking the things that look like X, they are called the path. The path arrows, showing the relationship between them, where they are going to. So for example, affects is leading to what? Intention to adopt. Whilst belief of relative advantage is leading to what? Intention to adopt. Whilst interaction between affect and relative advantage is also leading to this, as you can see where the arrows are directing to. Now, out of the path, we also see coefficients. Each of the paths also have their coefficients. And the coefficients will determine the relationship between the two constructs. So for example, if we have 0.32 as a coefficient, it means that 32% of intention to adopt an IT is explained by affect. This one, 0.45, is 45%. It means 45% of intention to adopt an IT is explained by what? Belief of relative advantage, and so forth and so forth. So they are called the path coefficients. Later on, I'll give you thresholds as to which one is at what threshold. Is it like if you have more than 0.2 or 3, it's better or something? Just like how we saw it in the Chromebach Alpha. Those of you that I did the...
I have a question.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Which one is the main one and which one is leading to?
There's nothing like a main one here. Here, that's one good thing about structural equation. With the structural equation modeling, we are looking at the interrelationships between the latent variables. So here you can see the interrelationships. But at the end of the day, you have to define which of them is like the end goal, kind of, quote unquote. And as you can see from here, the end goal, as I can see, is the intention to adopt an IT. I think if you can see, that's where most of the variables are leading to, most of them. Almost like 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that becomes the dependent construct. But at the end of the day, in the structural equation modeling, as you can see, is on the right hand side. It could be, the end goal could even be here at the left hand side, or it could be here. It could be here. That's one good thing about structural equation modeling. Unlike regression, where you have to strictly have a dependent variable and an independent variable. That's one good advantage of the STEM over regression. So here, to answer you, the end goal is the intention to adopt a new IT, which becomes the endogenous construct.
Most of the arrows are pointed to that side. That is why you are seeing that.
Yes. But somebody can also interpret it differently and say maybe they are also something else. Well, this is just a diagram, but I mean, when we come to the real thing, I'll show you this. This is just for presentation purposes. Yeah, because in even the work that I did recently, the paper I published, my endogenous variable was, I think it was somewhere down there in the diagram, or so down or up there. Good. It depends on what at the end of the day you are planning to achieve, or what you want to achieve. That will be that. Okay, good. Now we also see the measurement items. So each of them here, they are all having three things I'm explaining. So these are the measurement items, and they are reflective. Can you see the reflective? Because they move, the arrows move from what? The circles, and move to the small squares. so they are reflective. Only the interaction between affect and relative advantage have so many. That one has so many what measurement items, and it's acceptable. So it's not always. Also, I want to say it's not always the case that your measurement items should be, they should all be equal, like 3, 3, 3, 3. It's possible you can have one construct which has about 4, another one will have 5, another one will have 2, another one will. There are even situations where measurement items have only one indicator. It's acceptable. Yeah, so depending on the situation.
Is the same that is going to give you the indicators?
Yeah, come again, please.
My question is the indicators.
Yeah.
Is the same that is going to assign the indicator to the constructs?
No, you will do it. You
Based
the
on what?
one, I mean, you the researcher, you are the one who is going to assign. Because, like, for example, as I mentioned with the poverty, if you are talking about hard work, maybe you already have your reasons, or you have things that explain hard work. So if they are, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5, there are 5 things or 5 explanations to hard work, they become your indicators. And then if you take another one, like what other thing did I mention? Like inability to secure good jobs, or to secure a good job. If you have 2 explanations to that, they become the indicators. And then the other one I mentioned was what? I mentioned another one, the third one. If you also have indicators, so the indicators are not supposed to be even, or they are not supposed to be the same. That's what I'm trying to say. They are not supposed to be the same. You can have one, there are 3, another one 2, another one 5, another one 6, another one 7. But here it's just for presentation purposes. And you can see that the indicators are 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. But it doesn't mean they are also in a normal structural equation model. You are supposed to have the same measurement items for everything. No. Yeah, some can have more, some can have less. And even there are situations where some of the construct, they have only one measurement item, one indicator. It's acceptable. Whilst others have whatever. Now, quickly, let me take you through. We have 5 minutes because we started at 6:10. I want us to close exactly at 7:10. Quickly, this is the last part, and then we will continue next time that we meet. And then somebody, okay, somebody has raised his hand. Bernard, please go ahead before
Okay.
I continue.
So I wanted to ask, with the
Okay.
with the indicators, right?
Yeah.
Can they be equally referred to as variables to the latent variables? For instance, if I'm considering risk management, and I categorize the risks into, let's say, 3 sectors. Let's say organizational risk, social risk,
Yeah.
and let's say construction risk. And
Yes,
under
yeah.
each and under each of the identified risk, I have several variables, and
Yeah.
so these variables can be referred to as the
The
indicators.
indicators. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then the main categories, the 3 or 4 categories that you mentioned,
Are the latent
organizational
variables.
risk, and they become the latent variables. Good.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you,
That's how
sir.
they work. You're welcome. Great. Okay, good. Quickly, let me take you through the software that you need. So currently the software, which is I would say popular, because that's the one that a lot of people have used in the past. It's still popular in the system, but it seems the smart PLS is taking over, kind of. I'll put it that way, even though that has also been in the system for some time. And then the other softwares like Levan, M+, Calis, CPath, and Lesrail. Okay, good. Now let me talk about briefly about the Amos. The Amos has been around for so many years. The Amos package is part of SPSS. In most organizations or schools, if you want Amos, you quickly, or you can easily request for it, and it will be added. It's just like it's part of the SPSS. Like those of you who have been using SPSS, it's just a package of it. So if you want it, either you purchase it or you ask for it, and it will be added. So Amos is actually like, it's almost like SPSS was part of the SPSS, and that's the same software which many people have used in the past. So like if you take papers which were published or which have been published in the past, like if you take papers in the 2000s, the 2010s, you see that most of the papers they use Amos or Amos. Well, please, it's not Amos, the name Amos. I'm just trying to say Amos, but others also mention it as Amos, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but in recent times, the smart PLS has gained roots or has become the main thing. One thing is that I'll teach you, and I will not let you subscribe to the smart PLS because at this point we have not come to the analysis point yet. I'll just teach you the normal thing, use my own thing and teach you and blah blah blah. But when all of us, that's why I want all of us to work together. Please, if there's somebody who couldn't make it today, we are not going back. And it's not like maybe we have to come back and we have to beg you, and that we are not going to do that, because I want us to all to move on the same pace or the same path, so that when we all get our data, the data that we have collected, we can, I'll show you how to download the smart PLS software, and then we all do the analysis together. Even if like we don't get exact the kind of result that you get, we all do it together so that you get it. So please, this time around we are moving together. Nobody should stay behind. I'm pleading with everyone here. I don't want a situation where it's like whilst people have finished collecting their data, you are now beginning. It's not going to help us, and it's not going to help you, especially you, the person. Yeah, because this one, there's nothing like turning back. It's not like I'll do mine later. Okay, so the smart PLS is what we are going to use. And when you get a smart PLS quickly, then we end. The time is up. I'm sorry. Let me take another 2 minutes or so. Where do you get a smart PLS? So once again, please, right now, there's no need for you to download smart PLS, because if you do, it will ask you for 1 month subscription, which after exhausting the 1 month, that means when we get to the analysis part, you may not be able to use it. Okay, yeah, but I'll show you one. Okay, I'll show you something later, then another time. Yeah, so this is smart PLS. Okay, smart PLS has gained roots when it comes to this PLS thing, the structural equation modeling thing, and it was actually put together by 2 professors who they have a lot of they are very popular. Christian Rengel, this guy, some of you have seen him on LinkedIn, and he's always these 3 guys, they are here. Good. These 3 people are the people behind, but actually it was something that was put together by this guy. This guy is like kind of like the originator of the PLS the smart PLS software. He's called Christian M. Rengel. He's a professor in Hamburg, Germany, and he has been a visiting professor in University of Technology Sydney, UTS, in Australia, and he comes to Australia a lot. Yeah, he is the originator, and he and his friend Christian Rengel and his other friend. Maybe you can check them out. Yeah, they have written a number of papers on smart PLS, so many. Christian Rengel, Joseph Hare, and Marcus Strasted. These 3 people, Christian Rengel, Marcus Strasted, and Joseph Hare. These are the 3 gurus when it comes to structural equation modeling. And I'll teach you one thing. They are like more towards a certain portion of structural equation modeling when we meet next time. It's called a partial least square, the PLS. But yeah, but nowadays, like they have improved their software and they have included other structural equation modeling. Yeah, so you can read more about them. People cite him a lot because structural equation modeling is a global, like it's kind of interdisciplinary across board software. It's not only for construction management students. It's for business. It's for those who are doing medicine, public health, everywhere. Everyone is using it. So you can see his citation since 2021, because this guy came out with this software. Since 2021, he has received over 200,000 citations, which is like, oh, bro, this is crazy. Sorry. It's too much. And this is his friend, since 2021. Yeah, they are the guys behind the structural equation modeling. And then their father, their godfather is this man, Joseph F. What I'm trying to say is that most of the things that we are using, even in our analysis and all that, not everything comes from our field of study. So those of you who sometimes you want to tune your mind to stick to only the areas where you are studying, I want to encourage you to just come out of that, because these guys, all these three guys, they are marketing. They are all marketing professors. They are not even engineering professors. They are marketing professors. Marketing. And they came up with this. They are all marketing professors. They are consumer behavior marketing, and they came up with us. So, and everyone uses it. Whether you are doing business, you are into IT, you are construction management, engineering, medicine, public health, whatever. Yeah, so read more about that. That brings us to the end of the meeting. I'm sorry that I have taken some 5 minutes, and I hope you forgive me about that. Thank you for coming. Before we go, let me also give an additional 5 minutes for questions. If there's somebody who has a question here, please you can ask before. Okay, yes, Alphonsus, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Doc.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the lesson. Please, do you have some videos on the smart PLS?
Yes. So I will direct all of you to go to my YouTube channel. Just Google my name, my full name on YouTube, and search for PLS. I did a webinar for students in China, for some Chinese students. I have the webinar uploaded on my YouTube. Aside, I also have other PLS videos which are also there. So you can watch all of them at your leisure time, so that you get more insight into it. Okay, yes, Ima, thank you for your question, Ima, before Bernard.
No, please, what Bernard said about the latent variables, he said that the subheadings are the categories.
Yeah, and that's the latent variables.
So the categories, the variables that comes under the category, what
they become the indicators.
The indicators, okay.
They are the indicators or the measurement items. Hello? Emmanuel?
Yeah, yes. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, talk.
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to find out the...
Okay, yeah, so the main categories become the latent variables, and then the things under each of the categories become the indicators or the measurement items. The things explaining each of them. Like the groups, it's just like what we did for. That's why I mentioned that the SEM also has an aspect of the factor analysis, just like what we did for factor analysis, the EFA, the exploratory factor analysis or the confirmatory factor analysis. After the factor analysis, you get the groups, the grouping, the components. So the component heading or the name of the component becomes the latent variable, and then the variables that come under each of the components become the indicators. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next person, Bernard. Bernard.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, looking at the diagram you showed, looks
Yeah.
more like before you can use the PLS, right? You have to you have to construct your diagram flow, then
Yeah.
test it with the PLS. Is that so?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's a very good question, and that's one thing I'm going to teach you. So when when I started this whole presentation, along the way, I mentioned you getting to know some theories. Before you conduct a good or a proper structural equation modeling, you need to have something done before you come and test it. It's more of like the structural equation modeling is based on a whole set of hypotheses. And you know, hypotheses are normally formed before you go to the lab to go and test it. If you are like into this kind of medicine or lab stuff, you need to form your hypothesis and then you go and test it. Or in the normal academic sense, you need to put down your research questions and research objectives before you go ahead and what try to address them. That's what we do, right? So the same thing applies to the structural equation modeling. In the structural equation model, you need to come up with your hypothesis. You need to come up with your diagram. It's out of the hypothesis that you form your diagram. And the diagram that I like, for example, the diagram that I showed. And these diagrams, they are normally explained by existing theories. I'll show you two ways to go about it. Either you go the theories, purely theoretical way by taking some theories, or you can use existing literature to explain it.
Okay.
I'll show you all these things. Yeah, you can just use a normal existing literature to explain the relationships.
Okay.
So in our next meeting, there's a paper that I published recently. I'll show you that paper and how I did it, and how I went
Okay.
about it, and how I explained the relationship before I went into the analysis.
Okay.
And always you must have that before you. Other than that, structural equation modeling, you can't just get up and start analyzing. Structural equation modeling is not like EFA or something that you just get the data and then you start analyzing. If you start doing that, I'm sorry, you will not get a kind of results that you are looking for. It may not even make meaning, or you will not get anywhere.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other person? You are welcome. Any other person with a question before we go? Okay, if there's no question, I want to repeat this again before I end this meeting. Please come up with a topic. And remember, the topic is what you are going to run with till we are done with this whole exercise. A topic that you are interested in. I'm not going to force you to give you a topic. You come up with your own topic. And then I'll coach you from there. So if in case you want to discuss with me for the next 2 weeks, we'll meet in 2 weeks' time. If you want to discuss with me the topic that you want to use for this, you can chat me and I will discuss with you and see. And once again, if before you also choose any topic, make sure it's also feasible, it's doable. Don't choose any topic which you think it's not, I mean, at the end of the day, it will not work. So what do? That means you have to do some reading and choose your topic. Yeah, I'm not going to give anybody topic. Unless maybe at the end of the day, I find it difficult to get a topic and I'll guide you, but I don't really want to give anybody topic.
And
Yeah,
please,
okay.
the topic should be in alignment with the SEM usage, right?
Oh no, any topic.
Oh,
No, that's yeah, any topic but at the end of the day, yes, bear in mind that we are going to apply the SEM to analyze the data that we collect out of that work. But I'm just saying, come up with any topic that you are interested in. It could be about green buildings, it could be about sustainability, it could be about smart technologies, it could be about anything that you are happy with. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Just come up with a topic that you are okay, you have command over it. Yeah. It could be about even maybe if it's about your thesis, an aspect of your thesis that you want to. It could be anything. I want all of us to start from that kind of zero page, fresh start. Yeah, I don't really want to encourage like someone who has already collected data and the person wants to bring the data here, or somebody something. No, in that middle thing, I don't want to encourage it. We are all starting from the start, from the word go. And this one, everyone is you are going to take charge of your own topic. So if you don't work well, or you don't pay attention and put in some energy and effort into this, it will go against you, kind of. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Once again, we have gone beyond. I don't want to go beyond the time. I just want us to keep to our time and to keep to our promise. Thank you very much. We'll meet again in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, if you have a question, please get to me. Okay, and then I'll talk to you. So those of you who were able to come here today, Emmanuel, try to get, okay, well, I'll be able to get that, but if you, Emmanuel, can also do the same, that would be great. Try to get their names for me. I'll share the recording with you guys. I'll put the videos out, but it's not now. I'm not going to put it out now. I'm going to make it private and share with those of you who can tell maybe after some months or after some time. Yeah, so that it will force people to come to the meeting. Other than that, some people will say, okay, Nick, I won't come to the meeting. I will stay somewhere, and then once they are done, I will go for the video. I don't want to encourage that this time around. So I'll upload it, but I'll make it private, and I'll share with people who come to the meeting. You are the people who can get access to watch it. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and have a great day and great weekend. God bless. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.